When the world didn't want me and made me feel small, all I am is broken inside. Some echo identity who can't find his shadow always hurts mentally. Deafening is a song that's based on my life. It's based on the experiences I've gone through in my life, and it's such an important song to me because it relates a lot. I mean, the whole song itself is based on my hearing, and the song itself goes through a lot of different phases, a lot of different chapters, because each of the choruses, including the intro even, is based on like a part of my life where like I experienced like a lot of struggles with my hearing. Because for those who don't know, and you probably don't know, unless you've listened to the song already, but I have very very sensitive hearing. It's gotten to a point where like I do get ringing in my ears frequently. I hear a lot of things that a lot of people don't hear. Like, it is insane how big of a part, like how big hearing has played a part in my life, you know? Like, it's played a huge role in my life that I've hated, because like there's been times where like, you know, I take a shower and I start to get overwhelmed in the shower. Like, I don't even know if it's hearing or just mentally, but like I'll like freak out, you know? Like, there will be like mental things playing in my head, and it's just a whole thing. But like with this song specifically, there's moments in the song where I go over my hearing and what, you know, what the struggle is really. I start to talk about like we'll just, I mean, we will get into the lyrics in a different video, but going over the intro, like it's gotten to a point where like my own mother has, you know, shouted at me from like behind a door or something, like trying to get my attention, or just said something behind the door, and I just hear my name constantly getting repeated, and it's just so, it's frustrating because I have sensitive hearing and like I hear that stuff louder. And now like I kind of have like, I don't want to call it PTSD, but I do have trauma from that, where like now I'm nervous about like the door, like who's behind the door, or like I think I hear my name sometimes being called, and I don't know if that's what it is, and I keep turning to look over my shoulder thinking like someone's there, or someone needs me, or this, I'm gonna get interrupted on whatever I'm doing. And it's been so frustrating to deal with. And there's even times where like someone knocks on the door, and then I hear, you know, my dog's barking, and then I have to go and get that because like I can hear that knock so much louder. I just get so frustrated and annoyed by that certain thing. But it's been a constant struggle dealing with this sensitive hearing. And like, I'm just gonna go off of things in the choruses here just to talk about like what I've gone through, because it's a lot. So like in the chorus, I talk about gunshots in the wind, and that specific part, the reason I talk about that is because when I was really young, I guess I was at like a funeral for a family member that was a veteran or something, and I remember like my own mother was covering my ears because like obviously you don't want to hear a gunshot, and she was covering my ears. I don't even know why I was there. To be honest, it was really weird that I had to be there, but I guess I was young, so I didn't have a choice. But now I could have a choice. But I didn't want my ears covered, and I kept pushing to not have them covered, and I ended up, you know, I ended up hearing the gunshots, and I was crying for so long. And I remember getting yelled at about it because, well, like that's what you get. Like, but you know, it kind of traumatized me back then, just because like I didn't want to hear that noise, you know, and I heard it anyway. And that kind of like affected my hearing a lot. And then going to the next part, fireworks in the air, that part of the chorus, I talk about that specific moment of like, there was a time in my life where I really wanted to watch the fireworks and see them go off. I remember I had a blanket out in like the park or something, and I was like right next to the fence of my old house, and I remember laying on the blanket and listening to the fireworks, and that bothered me so much that I was crying. Like, I did not want to hear those fireworks, and it was bothering me the rest of the night. So there's these moments in my life have built up to like hearing such a loud, like noise. Loud noises just hurt me more than they would hurt most people. There's even times where like I'd hear like a super loud like noise over like an intercom. I have to cover my ears because, or like I'm in a hallway or something, I have to cover my ears super loud, or I have to cover my ears because it's super loud, you know. And it is got to be the worst feeling in the world to go through that, you know. And then the last part, the last course here, I talk about this fly on the wall, and then, you know, let the ringing break down my walls. So there's points where like a fly will come by or be in my vicinity, and I want the fly to go away because I literally can't deal with it. And the reason the whole fly thing has me, you know, in a tizzy and why it's affected my hearing so much is because I'm worried a fly will just crawl inside of my ear and damage my hearing. That's been a fear of mine even to this day, right? And because of that, I've always had this fear like that something crawled in my ear or flew into my ear and has just been staying there. Because there's moments where I'll bend down and grab something, or I bend over and I hear like a slight ring, not a ringing, but like a noise telling me not to do that. Like in my ear, it's like a slight, like high-pitched like thing telling me no, but I don't know if that's in my head or if that's real. But I did have an episode as a kid where I had the worst ringing in my ears, and I was crying and screaming at a babysitter's house when I was younger. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea, and to this day I still don't know why that happened. I think my hearing is, when I get older, it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. But, I mean, all these experiences in life, there was a time where, like, this was on my own mistake. I was punching in a code. This was, like, in my adult life. I was punching in a code wrong for something, and the loudest alarm you've ever heard went off, and I was right next to the alarm with my ears. I could not hear a thing. I think that probably like was the loudest thing I've ever heard, and it's just something I could not, it was something I couldn't avoid. It was a mess. And I think the one thing I'm worried about when I get older is that I'm not going to be able to have really good hearing. I'm not going to be able to hear anything. I'm going to be deaf, you know, and that would be awful. I can still hear fine, but like, yeah, loud noises are not my friend. I can even hear things like just from outside a closed window, and it's just the worst. And it's why I wrote this song, because I want people to know that like they're not alone in what they feel. Like, because I'm sure there's dudes who, you know, have gone to war or are a veteran that have probably experienced these things with like loud noises and ringing in the ears and becoming deaf. You know, it's got to be the worst thing in the world. And I've probably only gone through a fraction of what these other guys have gone through. So if you want to, listen.